30 days of nofap not only didn't solve my porn addiction, but it made it worse. But I found a better way, and I was able to quit my 10-year-old addiction. Let's talk about it. So let me tell you a short story. I got exposed to porn at 11 years old. At 12 years old, it was already a daily habit of mine. Now, for 4 years, I was just indulging in that multiple times a day until I found that my isolation, my shame, all those feelings could be associated to me having this addiction. And so I tried to quit it. Now, I was able to go on a few week streaks, sometimes even a month, but I would always come back. One time, I even went on 120-day streak with the advice of just be busy, bro. Now, at that time, I was doing something that I've never done before. I was a junior at high school, and so we were preparing and organizing all those events for school leavers, and I was heavily involved in those. So my social needs were met for the first time in a very long time. And so I didn't fab for 4 months. But then quarantine came, and I came back to the same old me in a few weeks, right? Spiraling downward again to where I previously was. And now looking back at it, I understand what was the problem, and I never really attacked that. Also, it gets to show that just reaching a certain day doesn't solve your addiction. And we are going to talk about how it works. But with this video, I want you to give you something to leech on to, something real coming from a long-time addict that helped me beat this addiction for good. So what I noticed with working over 70 porn addicts so far is that they fall into two camps. They either focus on getting to a particular day, let's say 30 days, or they all about the journey and not the destination. And honestly, I have a totally different approach. I think it's about the journey and the destination. Destination, or the goal, I think is important because without a good one, a compelling one, you probably wouldn't even embark on a journey, which can present certain challenges, you may experience hardship, and so a destination just keeps your mind on the goal. And it's so much easier to persevere through a journey where the real change happens, right? But the problem is that most people have the wrong destination. They have a destination, they have a goal, they have a destination, but that's just entirely... So let's say, what is your current goal? We're going on a 30-day nofap. It's probably to quit porn, right? It's probably to get women. The problem with the first goal. So you think that a nofap streak will solve your porn addiction. However, I can attest to that myself. You cannot watch porn and you can still be addicted to porn. Now it's going to be a different version of it. It's called lust. And it's not pixels on the screen, but it's your mind. And your mind is much more important than pixels on the screen. So even if you make it so hard to watch pixels on the screen, you can't put an ad blocker on your mind, right? And coming back to the second most often reason, getting women, like, especially as a Christian, I don't really want to just get any girl. I want a poor, virtuous woman, and I cannot put a time limit on that. It can happen in 30 days, it can happen in 10 years. But if my reason for quitting porn is get women, I'll be depriving myself from both pleasures, possibly. So either way, I'm losing. And so it becomes a losing battle where whatever I do, I feel like I'm being punished. But in this video, I want to present you a different approach, an approach that worked especially good for me, and I'm sure it will work for you. So in Christianity, so what does Jesus talks about? When he talks about sin, when he talks about repenting, he talks about being reborn. And so I think that being reborn or becoming more virtuous in the eyes of God, becoming more righteous, is the right destination for this problem. Now coming back to why can your addiction get worse? I've already touched upon it. But essentially, when your goal is to just reach 30 days, you'll feel deprived. You'll feel like you're missing out. And so when you get caught in a moment of weakness, then you relapse eventually. You'll probably go and relapse for 5 more times because you feel so deprived of it. And also, it won't reset your streak if you relapse on day 0. And if you have a goal to be reborn, to become more virtuous, to be more righteous, suddenly just the passage of time is not that important. What's important is what you do during that time that eventually led to you reaching a particular day. By the way, if you want to make this transformation faster, you can join my free community in the description down below. So we have established that just passing of days will not make you more virtuous or a more moral person. It's actually pretty funny because people install ad blockers. I even had one guy reach 30 days of nofap because his friend installed cameras in his room. Now that's hilarious, actually. And it's also sad because think about it. What would happen if that guy went and lived in the other room? He's still feeling deprived. I could go like right now on any porn site I want. I could search for any fetish, but I just don't because I don't want to. It's against my values. And I'm not perfect, but it's just the transformation that I've gone through that you can go through as well. If you want my personal guidance, accountability, and you also want a community of guys trying to become virtuous, good men in the eyes of God, click the link in the description down below.